Hey everybody, Scoutcrafter here again, TGIF. It's Friday. It's 85 degrees out here today, so it went from nice to hot all of a sudden. So we got a few things planned today. Let's get downstairs so we got a nice little project today, one of a couple. First project is for my sister. She's putting an addition on her barn, and there's a little detail that they used to use years ago when, and I'll show you a picture here. You can see there's a little detail that she wants, like kind of an acorn turned or something, to go under this little 4x4 that's hanging under the peak of the roof. And so she asked me if I can make one for her. Of course I can. And but you know what she wants, I don't know. I'm going to try and make a couple. So as far as wood goes, I don't throw anything out, as you know. And let me show you something I got about 20 something years ago. Now I guess it's been maybe 25 years ago. My aunt was throwing away a bed. She had a this is a bedpost, you know, and she threw away, and I you know, she said, do you want it, John? She says, I know that you like odd pieces of wood. So I said, yeah, I took it, and I just threw it behind my wood storage over here. I said, maybe one day I can use it for something, turn it down, make it into a club or something. But this would be perfect, because now I could make it into that little, it's like a reverse finial that I'm making. So I'm going to cut this up into a couple pieces. I'll make a few of them and see which one my sister wants. Now, a finial is the decorative screw top that goes on top of like a lampshade. Okay, we knocked two out. We have another one gluing up, drying. The glue is drying, but you see these one here. Now I could have made them real fancy, but you got to understand something, that you want, if any water or moisture comes on here, you want it to have a way to drip off, because you don't want these to really rot when they're up there, even though they'd be painted. I'll make a couple of them for her, you know, because I would have liked to put grooves in here and stuff, but that's just a problem waiting to happen, you know, from moisture and things like that builds up. It starts to rot. So you're better off making it just as plain as you can. And we put these here because these are going to be for what they call pole bolts. A pole bolt is threaded on both ends. It's for connecting poles. And a hanger bolt is different. A hanger bolt is threaded on one end and has a screw thread on the other. So it has a machine thread on one end, screw thread on the other. Pole bolt has screw thread on both of them, and that's what I'm going to real quick, this is what it's going to look like under here on the 4x4. But you know what? The transition, I'm not happy about the square into the round, and you know, there really should be something here, unless you're going to chamfer these edges. So I'm going to make a little transitional piece that goes on here, and let me show you how I'm going to do that. Now I cut out a round disc, so almost about 4 inches or so. Just roughly cut it out, drilled a hole in the center, and I traced the bottom of that little finial. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to see that hole that goes right on here onto that centering, and then we take the tailstock, put it in the other side of the hole, and that'll get it lined up really good. Then we lock down the tailstock, we tighten it up here. And you could see, just give it a double check, and you could see now what we're going to do is we're going to true this out here. We're going to make a nice little curve around here. And you see that inner circle there? That inner circle, what we're going to do is we're going to make a little pocket. Let me show you how that's done. Now I made two identical pockets on this little transitional piece, and this fits right in there, you see, and then I screwed it in. I put a lag bolt in there and epoxied it so that it doesn't spin when they try and screw this into the hole. And then you could see when this goes on here, it'll look a little bit better because it'll have a transition. If they might have to just chamfer the corners or whatever, but I think that looks better, you know. And let me just give this a quick primer. and we'll be done. Okay, I just shellacked those two finials, and this is a piece of leftover wood, you know, and what does that look like, you know? Looks almost like a, kind of like a club, right? I said, let's have some fun. Let's go over to the lathe and see what's under here, because there's something waiting to come out. Okay, so this was what was hiding under that wood. I don't know what's wrong with me, why I get such a fascination out of making little Billy Jacks and clubs. I don't know what it is. Maybe as a kid I probably got whacked over the head or something. A little bit of a knot here, but I put like a baseball handle on the bottom. It's just practice, you know. You get on there, you have some fun, and you make something. You know, it's good for getting your curves and you know, just designing something while it's on the lathe without any plans or anything. So a lathe is a lot of fun. If you don't have one, think about getting one. It really is. Now, when I was looking for that other part, I happened to come across a bag. You see these? These are, I got this from woodworkingparts.com. These are wheels, and we were making cars and stuff with the Scouts, and I used to buy bulk bags of wood. But you know what I used to like to make out of these, which I think you find pretty interesting? I used to take one of these wheels, one of these wooden wheels. They're nice, had a nice grain, you know, no knots or anything. And then I would just take a piece of 1/4-inch aluminum rod. And what do you think we're going to make out of that? Let's go check it out. Okay, and here's what we accomplished today. We got these 3 little decorations for my sister's barn edition. You could see here, this was that little cap that we added that I told you that will change the look, the transition between the square to this finial. We did them on these 2, and this one I just left. I don't even know which one, if she'll like any of them, so I didn't go crazy with them. I left the... it's kind of in a primer, you know, not sanded down or anything. But I would love to make these different colors, like red, yellow, and blue or something, you know. But I'll leave it up to her. I'll send her a photo and see what she thinks of them. And we did these. Then we also we did this little persuader, so to speak. And you see, this is what I'm talking about with the different grains, how it really, you can get it to pop, you know, with the certain... You know, with the shellac, it brings it out. And then I did this with a varnish, a satin varnish. So, but it's a nice little fish bat or whatever they would use this for. So we did that. And then lastly, we did our little spin top here. This one came out real nice. You know, again, it's just a wooden wheel, piece of 1/4-inch aluminum. We knurled. Look at the nice knurling over there, huh? Isn't that beautiful? Knurled the top there, and also we pressed in a piece of steel here, because aluminum's a little bit soft and you want the tip to be somewhat hard. So that's actually just a nail cut down, and we pressed it in about 1/4 inch. And yeah, and then you saw how the striping, how easy that goes on. And let's see how this works. These are a joy, and this is why you need to get a lathe. Okay, like I said, these are always fun to to spin, but that one seems to work okay. It'll straighten out after a while, but yeah, nice little spin top. These are always fun. You can make these and have contests on who's can spin the longest. Yeah, a lot of fun with these little tops. So in closing, it's 1:30 a.m. I'm going to put all these clips together into, I hope, a legible video, and you'll get to see it a little bit later on today. Thanks very much for tuning in. Hope you have a nice day. Take care now. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.